What's going on, guys? It is WrestleMania here back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including Roman Reigns' WrestleMania match has been revealed. Matt Cardona will have his first WWE match in 5 years. SmackDown is a ratings disaster. WWE Accused of Misogyny. Roger Jackson to be charged. The Hardy Boyz win WWE titles and much more. Now, first story looks at Roman Reigns' WrestleMania match reveal. Now, our top story today looks ahead at WrestleMania 42 and who could potentially be facing Roman Reigns on the show. WrestleMania is still a few months away, but thanks to shows such as WWE Unreal, we know just how far in advance WWE plans out their biggest show of the year. In relation to Roman Reigns, it appears that he could be destined to bring his legendary rivalry with Seth Rollins to a definitive end at the show. A statement is predicting that Reigns versus Rollins will be one of the top matches on a WrestleMania match card. There's no Roman Reigns-Seth Rollins match before the earliest January, and I doubt January, because they'll both be in the Royal Rumble. I think it's probably WrestleMania, just as a guess. He's definitely doing the San Diego show, but he's not in a singles match in San Diego. He's in the War Games. No, unless they change. Reigns versus Rollins in a singles match at WrestleMania is a match that fans have wanted for a while, and WWE have planted the seeds for the singles match for a considerable length of time. There were rumors that WWE were going to deliver the singles match at WrestleMania this year, but they would pivot and go with a triple threat match involving CM Punk. Naturally, due to Reigns apparently being involved in War Games this year, this would allow WWE to revisit the personal rivalry between Reigns and Rollins, especially if Reigns puts a team together to take on the Vision stage. Next up, future WWE creative plans revealed. And speaking of future WWE creative plans, they could be looking to crown a new #1 contender for Seth Rollins' world title. According to the Wrestling Observer Radio, LA Knight, Jey Uso, and CM Punk all stake a claim for being #1 contender, and this could lead to a triple threat matchup. They all got storyline reasons. One Knight's the last one to beat Seth. Jey never got a rematch after he lost the title, and Punk's been feuding with Seth all year. Beat him at WrestlePalooza and on the first Netflix show. Yeah, I mean they could do the three-way Punk, Jey, and LA Knight, and the winner gets a shot at Seth. But really, the way they've been building this up, all three of them should be getting a shot against Seth. WWE has a Saturday night's main event show next month, and it's likely that a world title defense goes down on that show. Fans are firmly expecting next month's Peacock special to be used to promote Survivor Series War Games, as we are once again in the unfortunate position of having multiple shows in a short space of time. Next up, WWE veteran RE signs, although various names are leaving WWE. It's now been reported that WWE veteran Xavier Woods has put pen to paper on a new deal. According to Fightful Select, Woods resigned a new long-term deal last month. Fightful Selectors learned that New Day member Xavier Woods was recently in a negotiation period with WWE that resulted in him signing a multi-year extension to remain with the company. His contract would have been up in September 2025, but the two sides were able to come to terms on a deal. Those we spoke to said that a deal came to the wire and was actually only finalized in September. Now, in relation to Kofi Kingston, Fightful has no information relating to his contract, but it's noted that it's possible that injury time has been added. We have no information on the dealer Kofi Kingston. In 2019, all the members of the New Day signed new matching deals. However, all of them had sustained injuries that could have possibly added injury time. Again, that isn't confirmed to have happened either. And this is yet another contract situation that WWE have left until the last minute. What is this bizarre business practice? It makes no logical sense. WWE are so sure that talent will resign, but they leave it until the last few days of their contract expiring to resign them. This obviously can backfire massively, as we've seen talent walk away time and time again, and WWE having little power to stop them. This has definitely been a move that was introduced when TKO took over, and it's a business practice that needs to change. Next up, SmackDown has a ratings disaster, and the new Nielsen rating system in the US is having a major impact on WWE ratings, as last week's SmackDown attracted just over 1 million viewers. This made it one of the lowest viewed SmackDown shows of all time, and the lowest rating for the show in about 4 years. The new Nielsen method combines the data from Nielsen's traditional panel of approximately 42,000 households with a much larger pool of data from around 45 million households and 75 million devices. While supposedly more accurate, wrestling journalists such as Dave Meltzer have have labeled the introduction as a total disaster for the pro wrestling industry. Next up, Matt Cardona will wrestle his first match in WWE after 5 years. Matt Cardona finally has his wish. He is officially back on WWE programming. On last night's NXT Showdown show, Matt Cardona was involved in a backstage segment with NXT GMAA, and it was announced that Cardona will return to NXT next week to take on Josh Briggs. This will actually mark Cardona's first WWE match since 2020, which was a match on Raw against Bobby Lashley. Cardona has actively been campaigning for a WWE return for some time, and who knows, if the match goes well, it could lead to WWE signing Cardona to a new contract. Next up, WWE commentator Buries Jade Cargill's AW run. But Booker has caused a ton of controversy as of late, and this controversy surfaced after Booker stated that Jade Cargill was fresh off a run in AW. And a lot of fans were seeing this as Booker blaming the infamous SmackDown botch on Cargill's time in AW. Now, Booker has once again chimed in on the topic, and on his podcast, he would basically double down on his negative feelings towards Cargill's AW run. The reference was about we were talking about Jade Cargill running in AW, and then my thing is, I can't remember one Jade Cargill match in AEW as far as who she wrestled other than I think when she dropped the title. I think who was it? Who did she drop the title to? Was it Statlander? No. Was it? I thought it was somebody else. It could have been. I don't think it was Atland. I thought it was, I can't remember the girl's name. I want you to talk about the 2 years in the business. 2 years of, being on an active roster and how hard it is to go out and perform in front of 20, 30, 50. 100,000 people, being that young and in the business. And someone like Jade, I must say I give her a lot of credit to be able to walk out in front of those people, not having the experience of Charlotte Flair, not having the experience of a Bayley, Naomi, but still say, man, I'm willing to step in the middle of the frying pan and then, boom, cook them as good as I possibly can. I give her a lot of credit for that. These comments aren't going to sit well with AEW fans, especially with Booker saying that Cargill didn't have a single memorable match in the promotion. Next up, WWE Accused of Misogyny. A Carrier Cross and Scarlett recently appeared on Chris Van's podcast, and both revealed behind-the-scenes details in relation to their WWE exit earlier this year. According to Scarlett, WWE's approach to resigning O in particular was unusual, and she was being used as leverage. One of the last questions before the 24-hour notice was given, Kevin asked where I stood in all these contract negotiations, and they said, we'll get to her once we're done with you, which I took as him using me as leverage against him. I do feel if he agreed within the 24 hours that they would have offered me something. Would it have been the same amount as it was before? Would it have been less? I don't know. But all in all, it felt like a massive red flag. Scarlett would add that WWE were coming across as misogynistic. And I did feel like it came off a bit misogynistic because originally I was hired before you, and the idea that I have no value without him, and it's only determined by whether or not he signs, that came off as very misogynistic to me. Now, this is a terrible look for WWE. A scholar is right. Using her as leverage to get Cross to resign was a shady business practice. Next up, Triple H was angry at this WWE star. A former WWE star, Karrion Kross, has now recently opened up about the tense backstage moment involving Paul Lou. Kross says that trouble fled after he delivered his scathing viral promo after WrestleMania 41, although he framed the promo as a work. He admitted he leaned on real-life elements intended to strike a nerve with fans. But the very next night on Raw, Kross said that he got a call from talent relations warning him that Creative was unhappy and that there was heat on him. Creative is not happy. There's heat. They're pissed. Kross then immediately went to go speak to those writers, and they mentioned, man, we don't know what you're talking about. At that point, he says he realized that the backlash was actually coming from Triple H himself. Eventually, Kross did confront Triple H directly and says that they cleared the air, and he described the company as large with communications sometimes fragmented across departments. But he did mention that once they spoke, Triple H was super cool and understood his intentions. And despite being cool with Kross, they were hardly used on WWE television leading up to their exit. Next up, Roger Jackson to be charged. Now, it is official Roger Jackson will face charges for his attack on Psycho Stu. The LA Times released a report on the matter, and according to the reputable outlet, Jackson will be charged with numerous counts, including battery. Jackson, Ed 25, will be charged with 1 count of felony battery that caused serious bodily injury and 1 count of misdemeanor battery in connection with an incident at Knox Pro Wrestling Academy event in Sun Valley on August 23rd, according to a spokesperson for the LA County District Attorney's Office. But if that wasn't bad enough for Jackson, it's been reported that prosecutors will be seeking a sentencing enhancement, and this is due to the injuries suffered by Stu. Prosecutors will also be seeking a sentencing enhancement because Jackson allegedly caused Stuart Smith to suffer great bodily injury. Smith, known as Psycho Stu in the ringer, lost several teeth and suffered a laceration to his lip during the attack, which saw Jackson body slam the wrestler and then punch him in the head and face more than 20 times. And the former MMA fighter is now expected to appear in court for an arraignment later this week. Things aren't looking good for him. Finally, the Hardy Boys win WWE titles. Our final story today takes a look at the fallout of the NXT Showdown show as a legendary duo, the Hardy Boys, have once again active champions in WWE. Last night, the Hardy Boys defeated Dark State to win the NXT tag titles, and WWE's official write-up for the match would expertly explain how the iconic team was able to capture the gold. Matt and Jeff Hardy are officially the NXT Tag Team Champions after the legendary duo defeated Dark State in a winner-takes-all match. In vintage Hardy fashion, Jeff had a whisper in the wind and tagged in his brother with Matt, taking out Lennox with a side effect and Griffin with a DDT. The twist of fate to Lennox gave the wave to a huge Swanton bomb that gave the Hardy Boys the NXT Tag Team titles. This championship will actually mark the Hardy Boys in WWE history, as they are now the fourth tag team in WWE history to be Triple Crown champions. Not only that, but the Hardy Boys have now had a WWE Tag Championship in the last 4 decades: the 90s, the 2000s, the 2010s, and the 2020s. As no news as of yet in relation to how long Matt and Jeff will hold their titles, but it goes without saying that the duo holding the titles, despite not being under WWE contracts, is a huge deal. The duo had been heavily rumored for a Hall of Fame induction, and Jeff even turned the honor down as he wanted to go in alongside his brother. Does this further the cause for the induction? Absolutely. And the Hardy Boys could be WWE Hall of Famers sooner rather than later.